Hello friends, welcome to Coding Techniques again. Today we are going to work with the Contacts plugin of Capacitor with our Ionic projects. Let's get started with this. But before starting, I would like to tell you that if you haven't checked my courses yet, do check it out. The links are there in the description and these are the courses that is already available on Udemy. Let's go and check that out. So in this particular project, at first what we are going to do, well, I have already created a new project, and if you want to understand how I have created that, if you do not know, then you simply need to run this particular command in your terminal and the project will get created. But at first, if you haven't installed the Ionic CLI, definitely you need to install that up in order to work with it. Okay, so once that is done, everything is ready and I have entered the folder and open it up in Visual Studio Code. That's my code editor. Now I can simply run it in browser using the command Ionic serve. Okay, and let me check what all do we have in the src folder. We have the home page and this is a design that is coming up. I've just inspected it up and you can click on this to get the mobile view. All right, okay, this is looking nice. That's okay, but we need to work with the Contacts plugin, right? So we will design it later on along with the plugin only. So at first, let's check it out. What is the plugin? So Contacts Capacitor, let's check it out. So this is the plugin that we need to work with. Okay, so let's open it up and it has opened up. All right, let's check in the documentation. So I need to open up the installation and API reference. API reference will reference to the functions which are available for this particular plugin, and installation, how you need to exactly install it up for Capacitor version 3, 4 or later on also. So I will simply install it using this particular command. I won't give the version name, and let me just stop Ionic serve for the time being and install it up. Okay, I'll hit run and this will not work in the browser, remember that, because in the browser you won't find contacts. So it's better if you run it in a real device or in the simulator or emulator. I'm going to run it in the emulators or simulators. Let's check it out. So after that will be done, you simply need to sync the project, but this won't work because we haven't run Ionic build, which is the first step, because of which we will get the www folder and that will help us to create the application for Android and iOS. Alright, this is done. Now we have the www folder out here. Once that is done, I will add both the platforms, Ionic Cap, add Android. If you are working with Android, only add Android. Well, I am working with both this stuff, so I will work with Android and iOS both. Alright, I think Android folder is created and it is ready. Next thing, I will add the iOS also. Great, this is also done. Now we are ready, and I haven't changed the package name, which you need to do in order to run it in real device. So com.technics. Let me name it as Contacts App. Alright, and I'm going to change it everywhere wherever I encounter io.ionic.starter. I'm going to replace everywhere in this particular manner. Alright, this is done. Great. I think I'm facing an error or what? Alright, let me try to sync it up now using this particular command, or you can use Ionic Cap sync also. Let me run this command now. Great, it's done. So it is syncing the project for both Android and iOS. That's great. So the plugin is ready to go. Now we will work with the home page to fetch the data. So in order to do that up, I'll go to the API references because nothing else I think we need to do. Yes, we need to pass the permissions. So let's work with this at first. Let's set up everything. Then we can simply work with all the things that we need. So in the main activity, I don't need to do anything. At first, I'll go to the Android manifest and I'm typing the command plus P or control plus P for Windows to enter this thing up. Okay, now in the permission section, I'll simply paste it. That's it. Align it properly and you're good to go for Android. And for iOS, this is a thing that I need to pass. Let me go to info.plist. So I'll search again for info.plist. And within this, at the very top, I'll just pass a key and I'll paste it up. Along with that, I also need to pass a string, which will be the message why exactly I want this permission. To allow access to the contact list. Anything, you can type anything you want out here in the string one. So I've just given a simple description out here. You can even change that if you want to. Okay. Alright, so I think our permission thing is done and it's good to go. Nothing else to do for installation. The next thing is to work with the API references. So in the API references, at first we need to check the permission or actually request the permission. So I'll simply work with the request permission. So for that, I'll go to the home page because we are going to work in the home page itself. And I need out here ng on init function, and for that I need to implement the onInit interface. Okay. All right, now here I can simply pass await. Let me make it a sync contacts dot request permissions. All right, or instead of passing it out here, let me just pass it in a function. Let's do everything within a function, right? So let me call get contacts, let be the function, and I'll call this function in my ng on init directly. Okay, let me make this one async, and let's do everything within a try catch block in this particular manner. I'll log if there is any error, and we'll pass this particular functionality out here for requesting the permission if you don't have that. Now once that is done, I will accept the value of this request permissions in this particular constant called permission, and I'll log the value where I'll get permissions.context, where in which I'll get the value of the context whether it is granted or not. So let me just show you one by one. So for running this project, what am I going to do? Let me run it in livereload in iOS. So Ionic Cap open iOS. Alright, let me just do that. So it will open the Xcode directly. Alright, the Xcode is opened up, and I'm going to run it in this particular simulator. Let me run it. Instead of running it directly from here, let me just minimize it up. Let's run livereload. So Ionic Cap run iOS. So all the changes, whatever I make out here, will be reloaded out there automatically, and I can see all the changes directly. I don't need to like build the project again and again, right? So -L for livereload and -- external, that is for the IP. Okay, it will take it automatically. Any IP means any address it will take. And now I need to select the device, which will be iPhone 14 Pro will be my device. Let's wait for it to show up. Now let me open the Xcode also, because one thing is left. It is opened up. That's great. Let's see whether it works or not. All right, I got the option. Let me select the permission, and it is ready. That's great. So let's start working with this. Well, if you face any kind of an error, that's what I wanted to show you. That means you have to do something in your signing in capabilities. You need to select a team. If you don't do that, there will be an error which will be popping up, and because of that you won't be able to build your application. Okay, so remember that thing. Now once I've selected it, you can see this error will go away and it's gone. So that's what you need to do. All right, extend it. Now it's looking better, and let's check it out. What else do we need to do? Okay, we got the permission. Now I'm going to simply check it up. And for checking it up, well, how can I check it? That's a big question. In Android, I can see the logs, but in iOS, well, in order to check the logs, it's a big process. So I'll do something else by which you will be able to see the value of this permissions pretty easily. So this dot permission, which I'm going to create right now, a property which will be equals to permission. All right, let's have this out here. Permission, okay, of type any, let's see. And now I'm going to simply go to the HTML, and in the HTML at first I'm going to clear all of it. Contacts app, and let me remove this translucent. Along with that, this full screen not needed, and all the stuff I'll simply remove it. All right, now it's fine. So Contacts app and color to the toolbar. Let me just give the primary color, and in the and content, let me just pass the permission of type JSON. So I'll get all the data out here in a JSON format, which you can see. So it is showing contacts and the value is granted. So that's how you get the data. Now if you want, you can simply remove it. Now I'm going to simply work out here with the permission one. So let me just remove this. That was just for making you understand how we can simply check it up. Now I'll simply check if the value between this, but in this particular context one does not exist, and I've given a question mark just to be assured that there is something called contacts. Okay, if this does not exist, I'll simply return. Okay, otherwise, else, what am I going to do? I will check, sorry, not else, it will be else if the permission, if permission question mark dot contacts, if the value of it is equals to granted, then I'm going to go ahead and work with this particular contacts plugin, because if that is not granted, definitely there is some issue, right? And to check the value, what exactly do you get? You can simply click out here and you will get the value where it is shown. Okay, in the context one, permission state, and these are the state that you get: prompt, rational, granted or denied. So I'm just keeping that into consideration. The next thing which I need to work with is to get the context, and in order to get the context, this is the function that we need to work with. So this function accepts few options, which I click on it and I'll get, all right, the name, organization, birth date, whatever data you need from the particular context, definitely you can fetch all of it. So that's in fact pretty good. Let me just try it out here. So I'll simply paste this code. So this is a result, and let me have a property called contacts, which will be of type any array initialized to an empty array. Fine. And now what have I done out here? Just check it out. In the result, I'm just passing contacts.getContext function, which is holding some options, which will be the projection at first, because out here you can see get context option, we get the projection, and within the projection, if I click on that, you get all these options. Okay, so remember data. Now I can simply pass out here name, phones, so I'll get a name and phone number. If you want, say like I want the emails also, I'll copy it up and I can work with that. And in fact the image too, if you want, definitely you can fetch that too. Let me just try it up. I'll get this emails, I'll set it to true. In fact the what was that, photo, I'll set it to true. Was that photo? Oh sorry, image. You can see that I get the error messages also. All right, now it's fine. Great. So these are the data that I'm looking for in the context one. So remember, if you are running this application in your real device, definitely there will be lots of contacts and you will be in trouble to handle all those contacts in this application. So you need to apply pagination is better to apply. Okay, so that's what you can perform using infinite scroll. Okay, that is much better to work with. All right, so now this is ready. We have the data. What data do we have? Let's check it out here. So I'll simply go for contacts JSON data. Let's see, what do we get? You see, we got at least a few data, right? And in order to check this up, what I'll do, I'll just minimize it up and we'll go to the context one. Where is it actually? Okay, I've opened up the context, and these are the contexts that we have out here. So we have certain contexts. Let me open up our application. So this is the context that I want to show you in the first place. So I'm going to use a list for that. So ion list, and within this ion list, let me have an ion item. Okay, now I'll give a condition to this ion list, ng if contacts (length) is greater than 0, then only it will show up. Well, what's actually, I'm just checking the array length, right? Why it is giving me this error? Okay, because of the question mark it was giving me the error. Now I think it's gone. Well, let's check it out now. So out here I'm simply going to run the loop ng4 let contact of contacts, and within this, let's see what do we get the data. So I'll simply show contact and I'll give a pipe JSON. Let's check it out. So we get the contact ID and we get the emails also. Okay, then we get the phones. This is the phones, and after that another phones. Okay, this is an array, I suppose. All right, now there is too much of data out here, at least. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just comment this up and I'm going to get the first record. So I'm going to access this contacts 0th position. That's what I'm going to get. Now we can see at least what all properties do we have. We have the phones property, we have within the phones type, mobile, what is the number, then alright, there is another number which is of type main, then the number, then we have the name, then we have the, what do we have within name? We have the display name, the prefix, middle name. If you have anything of that kind, then you can show it up. Then we have, okay, what is it? Family bell, okay. Then the suffix, given, too many things actually. Contact ID, okay, this is an ID, unique ID most probably. And at last we have the email. So whatever we ask for, it is giving us that particular record. The image is not available, that is why it is not giving us a image. I think I'm okay with this particular stuff, so I need to access it one by one. Let's go for that. So let me just have this for the time being, and I'll uncomment this. So within the ion item, I'll have an ion label where I'm going to simply pass the name. That's gonna be contact dot name, and I'll give a question mark out here, contact dot name question mark dot display. So the display name will be shown. You can see this is coming up. That's great. And if you want to show the email ID and other stuff, definitely you can use the p tag. And within the p tag, you can simply pass, let's say I want to pass ion text also within the p tag. And within the ion text, I will show the phone number and the email ID. Okay. So at first, let me just show the email ID. I think that will be a better option. So for the email ID, I know that I can access it via contact question mark dot emails, and which email I want, that's a big question. So let me give 0th position, and which is the data which we get. All right, emails. Then what is the object name where we get the email? That is the address. All right. So if I just give address in this particular manner, I think I'll get the email IDs. That's what you got out here. That's great. Similarly, you can access the phone numbers also, but out here we have at least like more than one phone number can be there. So you can display that also. Let's work on that. So what am I going to do? Let me create another p tag. Let's play around with this particular stuff. I'm liking it. And this time, well, I will run a loop actually. I'll run a loop for this ion text ng4 let phone of contact question mark dot phones. Okay, and I'm going to display phone. What is the thing that we have in the phone? Let me just check it. I have the type. I don't need that. I just need the number. So phone question mark dot number. That's what I'm going to display. Let's check it out. So we are able to display this both the numbers. Now, before showing the number, there is one important thing that I want is to separate these two numbers with something, right? So how can we do that? Well, in order to do that, let me just have the index also. I equals to index so that I can track it down. If the index value is 0, I won't give any phone number, comma before the phone number, right? So let me just do something. I'll just check. Let me pass a span, okay, and I will pass a comma and a space, and I'll check ng if I greater than 0. All right, then only this span is going to work. Now you will see a comma which is showing out here. All right, or there is one more way of doing this up. Let me just show you the other way. I think that's gonna be easier. I'm going to create a function. Let me call it join numbers. Within that, I'll pass the array dot join function I'm going to use, within which I'm going to join it by comma. Okay, what's wrong? All right. I think I missed out one thing. In the TS config, you need to simply set it to false, otherwise you will get unwanted errors actually. That's why I was getting the error earlier also for this particular one. Let me just go to the home page, and this time if I give a question mark, I don't think I'll get an error. So everything is good to go now, right? That's great. So once that is done, let me pass out here the function. What was the name? Join numbers. And within this particular function, I'm going to pass contact question mark dot phones. Yeah, that's what I wanted to pass, but well, within the phones we don't have the direct array, right? So within the array I need to fetch out all the numbers only, correct? So now in order to fetch the number from this particular one, we need to map this up. So what am I going to do? Let me just use dot map function, within which I'll just return x dot number. Okay, let's check it out now. Still didn't work. Alright, actually I need to pass return. I just forgot. Let's check it out. Now you can see we got the numbers properly, right? And in the last one we don't have the number actually. Okay, in order to check that out, what I'll do, I'll just go for contacts dot length -1, and here, well, we do have the number for David Taylor. Why it is not showing it up? Have I done anything wrong? In fact, we don't have the email, right? I think so. Yes, we don't have the email, but we do have the other things. So what am I going to do? At first I'm going to just pass a condition out here, ng if contacts dot question mark dot emails. Okay, if it exists, then only it's going to show up. Okay, sorry, it's not context, it's contact. Okay, now the error is gone and we are able to see the number. There is only a single number. That's great. So it's working pretty nicely. Now you can simply pass out here anything you want. Say like I want is this kind of a bar. You can simply have that out here, which is looking in fact better than the earlier one. So you can play around whatever you want with this particular stuff. All right. So this is a much better approach, I think, to work with. Now our data is showing up. Let me just comment this particular one. Where is it? This particular one. And this is going to look pretty nice, right? And if you feel that this is a little congested, then simply you can shorten up the size of it. I think that is a better option. If you can shorten up the size of this particular p tag, let me go to the SCSS and let me remove all of it. For the p tag, well, let me just pass font size to be, I think 0.8 rem will be better. Reduce, I suppose. Let's give 7.5. Okay, now it will show up. Alright, I think I'm happy with this particular design now. The text is smaller, and in fact you can do one more thing. After the ion label, I think we can give some spacing also. So not exactly in the ion label, that's the issue. Let me just pass out here an inline property style where I'm going to give margin top to be like, say, 3 pixel will be better. It's better, right? 3 pixels. That's fine. So this is a contact app that we have built so far, where we can show all the contacts list. All right. And if you want a single contact to show up, well, I won't show that part. Let's work on it later on. At first, let's try to create a contact, because in this particular plugin, we have that particular option of creating a contact. This is the one. So this is how we can create, we can delete, we can pick a contact also. So let's work on that one by one. So for creating a contact, well, at first, let me just work with the header part. And in the header part, what am I going to do? I'm going to create an ion button slot to be and, okay, here I'm going to have an ion button. Within the ion button, I'm going to have an ion icon whose name will be add. All right, and the slot to be icon only. That's looking bigger. I don't want that. Removing it is better. All right, so we have the plus button. If you want add circle, definitely you can pass the circle one also. All right, so whichever you feel like, you can simply pass. I'll keep it as it is, or you can have something out here too to create a new contact. I think that will be a better option. I'm just showing you all the possibilities actually. So for floating button, well, let's go to the documentation of Ionic and I'll get it from there itself directly. I'll search for fab, ion fab. This is the one. All right. So I'm simply going to copy this up and I will paste it in the ion content. All right. This is showing up out here. Now I simply need to fix it somewhere. And for that, I need to pass the properties. Let me just show you what am I going to do. Slot is fixed horizontally and vertically. You need to fix it up. Let me just copy it up and I'll paste it out here. Once that is done, horizontally on the end, what options do we have? Let me just check it out at first before moving ahead with the positions. So where do we have? Yeah, horizontal end and vertically where you want it. So I want all the places to be at the end, and we will have it out here. Okay, I think I made a mistake. Actually, vertical can be taken only top and bottom value. So I need to pass bottom actually. I was just passing end, that is why it was not taking it. Now it is fine. All right. So this is great. Now you can simply click on it and you can see a model or whatever we designed right now to create a new, or what do we say? Yeah, contact. Now in order to create a new contact, what properties do we need to work with? Let's check it out here. Okay, we have certain options. Create contact options where we will get the contact, and within the contact we can pass name, then the phone number, which is an array. All right, so the phone input properties we need to pass, that will be the type and is primary, then the number and any label if you want to pass anything. Okay, let's start working with this. I think we can do that. So whenever you click on the plus button, I won't create any design. We are just going to work with the functionality. So what am I going to do? Whenever you create a function, let me just have another function called create contact. Fine. And out here, let me just pass a functionality to this particular button. If you click on that, it will call the create contact function. Fine. And within this, I'll simply call contacts.createContact function, which will return a promise. So I'll use async await. You can pass it within the try catch block also. And now within this, I have the options and I'll pass contact. So this will be an object. All right. And within the object, I can simply pass the name of the contact. Let me call it Nikhil Agarwal. All right. What's wrong? Type string has no name input. Am I doing something wrong? This is a name input. And what is this name input? Okay. All right. I need to pass it in this particular manner. So this. All right. So let's work with this now. So we have the given one. I think let's work with that. In the name, we have the object. Within the object, we need to pass given. Let me give it Nikhil out here. And family, let me pass Agarwal. Let's see whether this works properly or not. And there are other things also like the middle name. Well, I don't have any middle name so far. Prefix and suffix, well, I won't pass it. Let's see what happens if we don't pass it up. Then for the organization, okay, let's leave it. For the organization, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go to the phone number directly. So let's go to the next one, which will be the phones, which will be an array. And within this array also we have the objects where I can simply pass the number, and within the number let me just pass, I think this is of type string. Yes. So let me just pass any number. So any number I have given. Why it is giving me the error? Type is missing. So I'm just giving, don't need to worry. Okay, you want it at the beginning, let me just pass it at the beginning. So type will be, what's gonna be the type? It is of phone type. Okay, what is the phone type? Let me just check it out. I'll just scroll down. Phone type. So these are the phone types whose value is this particular one. Well, let me just pass the home. I think that will be better. All right, phone type. All right, let me try to import this phone type. I think it is imported now, and now I can simply use, I think, home. That's great. So this is taken a long thing. Okay, fine. I have given the number, then the type. I think nothing else I need to work with. I think this will work, hopefully. Let's check it one more time. Okay, for the context, we can pass emails also. Let's go with that. All right, let me pass the email too. So this is the array. I'll just pass one number. If you want to pass two numbers, well, we can simply copy it up, and I'm going to paste it out here directly. Instead of home, let me just pass work this time. And the number, let me just change the last digit. That's it. And this time I'm going to pass the emails also, which will be an array. Within that we need to pass the object. And within the object of the emails one, what do we have? Email input. Where is it? Okay, I need to pass the type and label it up is primary, then the address. Within the address, I know that it will accept the email address. All right, so let me pass the address at first. That's gonna be techniques@gmail.com, and there will be a type 2. That's gonna be email type, and let me import it up. Okay, dot. So what kind of K? Let me give the home one only. Email type is home. That's fine. All right, so I think everything is ready for creating a new record or contact. Let's check it out now whether this works or not. So how do I check it up? If I click out here, I think it should be created. Let's see. And how do we get the result? We will be able to see it out here. Once we create that up, it will return what? Create result, contact result. So let me just do one thing. I'll create a constant called result, which will be equals to await and this particular stuff. Let me pass everything within try catch block. I think that will be better. If we face any error, at least it will be thrown in the exception one. Let me just move this at the top. Okay, I did something wrong. There will be an extra. This is fine. All right, still everything is okay, I suppose. Need to align it properly. All right, in the catch one, I'll simply log the value, and in the result one, what am I going to do? I'm going to append it with the context. So this dot contacts dot push, and I'm going to push the result. All right, let's see this time what it shows. If I click on it, I have clicked on it and it came up, but the record is not the same. So if I want to see what is the value of it, then what am I going to do? I'm not going to push it in this particular manner. Instead, let me have this dot result will be equals to result. Fine. And what am I going to do is basically pass result of type any. Okay. In order to check the value, what exactly do we get? I'm doing that up, and I'm going to have this after the list result JSON. Well, there is another way of checking this up, but for the time being, I'm just going to show you this particular one. All right, actually I got the data this time. Now for the next one, let me create another record. I'll just tweak a little bit. So let me just remove this one and give vlogs. So this is my another YouTube channel which you can watch if you want. So techniques vlogs basically I've given, and I'll keep the number to be 3 and 4. You can use the same number also, I don't mind. And the email ID is techniques vlogs. That's it. Let's create that up and see this time what exactly do we get, because this time we have this thing in the result, right? We will check that out. Let me click on it and this is coming up. So we get the contact ID, but how do we get that particular contact now, right? That's a big question. Let's check the documentation. Once the contact is created, how do we fetch it? Get contact result. All right, from the contact we will get the payload, but I don't get that payload. Well, let me check the function get contact. Okay, get contact by ID. Is there any option to get the contact by the contact ID? If that is possible, then I can append this particular contact directly, right? Let me click on it. Get contact option. No such thing is given. If you want to get the contact, you need to pass the contact ID in this particular manner, I think. And projection is also needed. Or this is for getting a single contact. Let's give it a shot. I think that's gonna work. Let's try it out. So what am I going to do? This time I will not show this particular result. Instead, I will use this dot, not this dot. I'll use contacts dot get contact. Okay, this particular function where we have the same thing that we did for our get contacts actually, and within this we have the projection and all other stuff, but along with that I'll pass the contact ID also. Okay, so that is the catch out here. Let me just do it. All right, let me pass this, and this should be passed within an object actually in this particular manner. Fine, hope everything is fine. Now let me paste it. What's wrong? Anything is wrong out here? What? Get contact options, which is this contact ID. And okay, I think I need to pass the contact ID at first, otherwise this will give the error. Yes, I was right. So I'll get the contact ID from the result.contact ID, and I'll give a question mark out here just to be on the safe side. Now this is the data that I want from this particular contact. Okay, I'll pass await, and this one will return me the promise and it will get the contact result. All right, this was a little lengthy one, but finally we are getting some data. So I'll create a constant called new underscore contact, which will fetch me the contact, and I will append this with the contacts one using the push function, or you can use the concatenate also. Concatenation function, concat function basically, CONCAT. Let me just pass the new contact directly out here. Okay, I hope it's great to start this particular stuff. Now again, I will give another channel name, Code with Techniques. So these are my channels. You guys, you can simply watch it up and subscribe if you haven't done that. You will get, the language is Hindi, but the content is pretty much useful. All right, one is the blogging one and the other one is the coding one. All right, so let me just pass Code with Techniques as the family name. All right, now the phone number, let's me give 5 and 6. So this will be Code with Techniques at gmail.com. So everything is ready to go. Time to push it. Let's check this out. I will click on this and we don't get any result. That's pretty bad. I didn't expect it actually. We need to check the value, what exactly we are getting out here, and in the result one too. So let me just use it. This dot contact will be equals to new contact. All right, let's check it out. And this contact one also, let me just pass it out here, contact of type any, and let's pass this one also, contact type JSON. All right, so all the things are corrected. Now I'll click on this particular button again, but let me do one thing. I'll change the number to 6 and 7. Let's say we have the same contact but with different number, right? Let's try it. All right, what do I get actually? Okay, at first I'm getting the contact data. This is for the result one, and after that I'm getting the contact. Okay, so basically within the contact we have another contact where we have the email, then we have the phones. All right, so basically I need to push not the contact, means new contact. Within the new contact I have another property called contacts. That's what we need to tackle out here. So once we do that up, and let's skip it this time. All right, so you can see out here we have a lot of contacts at the same time of same name. So let me change it another with another name. So this time it will be Study with Techniques. So these are new channels which we have created for education purpose. You can simply check that up. All right, this time it's gonna be 8 and 9. All right, guys, this is very interesting. I'll change it to Study with Techniques. Okay, too many things. This time it should work. Let's try it up. And do we get some data? Yes, we got it directly. That's great. And this is the data we got. It's working this time. That's pretty awesome. That's what I wanted, and we have achieved the same. Great. So we have successfully implemented the functionality of create a contact. That's great. I've just commented this up, and in fact I'll comment this too also, and remove all the errors that we get, this one and this one. All right, great, good to go. So creation is done, fetching is done, single fetching is also done in the same manner, while you can work with the other stuff also. All right, suppose if you click on this particular button, or if you just click on this particular record, you can fetch the data, right? That's what also you can work with. Let me show you if you are still confused. Let me just create another one. Let me do it out here. Okay, get contact function, where you are going to pass the contact. Okay, and I'm going to use the same functionality for fetching the contact in this particular manner. Okay, we paste it. Let me make it a sync. This will be contact.contact ID. This will be the projection, and finally whatever result I get, I will just return new contact. That's it. And you can use the same functionality out here too. You can simply use await, and you can simply pass get contact, okay, this dot get contact, and within that you can simply pass contact, okay, result dot contact ID. I think only the ID is needed, so we can fetch that up, just pass directly the contact ID. That's gonna be better, okay, in order to work with this. Alright, so I think this will work as expected. Now how do I check this up? Whenever I'm clicking on any contact, well, let's say this is the one, so if I click on that, let me call it click, what's wrong with me today, let's call the get contact function. Let me break it down, then it would be better. Get contact, within which I'm going to pass contact question mark dot contact ID. I think that's how we should get the ID, right? Okay, I think everything is looking fine. When I click on it, it will return me the new contact, right, which I want to display where. Let me do one more thing out here. This dot contact will be equals to new contact. Let me use this again just to check what contact do we get if I click on that, and I'll go to the HTML and show this up again. Let's see this time what happens. I'll just comment this first one. Alright, let's check it out once again. So I'll simply scroll to the bottom and click on this one. What do we get? Alright, we get the data. That's great. I'm loving it. So we're getting the proper data actually. That's what we wanted. It's great. So this is how it is working for fetching a single record also. And if you want to create a new record, let me just show you everything is the same. You won't see any difference. Let me just comment everything at first. Alright. Now, in order to create one more, well, I have one more channel actually. I'm not running all the channels basically. It's run by my sister and brothers. So you can simply check that up. Obviously the content is great for sure. So another one is banking techniques. Let me just give 10 and 11. This will be banking techniques. I think everything is good to go. Let's try this up now. So I'll just hit this and scroll to the bottom. You see banking techniques is showing up. So this is how we have optimized the stuff pretty nicely. Now the only functionality that we need to check out here, which is the main one, is this delete a contact. Alright, and what is this pick contact? Basically, okay, picking a contact from where? Projection. I need to pass this projections, but for what? We'll check this later on, but picking a contact, basically from the contact list you can pick a contact. We can skip that up, but I'll just show you the delete contact one. So for deletion, what am I going to do? I am going to use the item sliding. So for doing that up, what I have to do is basically I need to wrap this whole ion item within the ion item sliding, alright, in this particular manner, and paste this ion item. But this looping will not work out here. Actually, it's going to work in the ion item sliding. Rest I think will remain the same. Let me pass it out here on. Okay, so there is no issue as such so far. If I click on this particular one, Kate Bell, alright, let's try it up once again. I'll just uncomment this one also, and finally this one too, where it is. This is the one. Alright, now it's going to show. Let me click on banking techniques, and this is showing up, so that's working fine. Alright, now we need to work with the delete one. So in the ion item sliding, I need to pass ion item options. Okay, within the options, the side will be at the end. It will show on the right side. Okay, within this I will have an option ion item option, a single option that you can give, where we need to work with the icon and other stuff. Let me just show you. I'll just search out here ion item sliding. This is the one, and these are the options that you get. So if you just go for sliding, I think you will get all the options. Okay, this is the one. You can pass the name or the color also to that, and you can pass, I think, icon also along with it. Where is that icon one? Let me pass this one only instead of passing the icon one. If you want to look for the icon one, definitely you can look for these options. Okay, it's not passed out there. I think you will get somewhere. You can pass the icon also within this particular one, and it's going to show up pretty nicely. This is the one, yeah. You can pass the icon also. Okay, and icon and name also can be passed. How you need to pass that you can select also by passing the slot. All right, so in my case, let's try this up. I'll try this one only. Let's go and pass this particular one. All right, and the slot will be start, name will be trash, and this one will be delete. The color will be danger. All right, let me just try it up. Sliding, this is working, but the color of the iron option also, I think I can change it to danger. Will it work nicely? Let's check it out. All right, this is working, but the color of this icon, I need to change it to the light color, or should I not give any color? That will be better. Let's check it out. This time it is fine. That's what I wanted actually. All right, so if I click on this, I need to delete that particular record. So in order to work with that, I need to give a click event to this particular option. So let's work with it. If I click on it, then delete contact. All right, which contact? That particular contact which I am clicking. So contact question mark dot contact ID, I think will be better to delete that up. That's what I need. Let's go to TypeScript. Where it is, this is the one. I'll use again async, or should I copy this up? Most things is the same. I delete contact. I'll get the contact ID, and this time it will be delete contact. Now what do I get in the delete contact? I need to just check that out. So I'll just go to this particular one, delete contact, and in the delete contacts, okay, I just need to pass the contact ID. Fine, that's great. Let me remove this particular ones, and that's it. You're good to go. Even you can remove this one also because the name is the same. If I cut this, there won't be any error. So once the data is deleted, I need to remove that from our records. So for doing that up, what am I going to do? I'll not return it. In fact, what I'll do, this dot contacts dot filter, so not contacts, it will be contacts. I'll filter those value contact dot contact ID, whose contact ID will be equals to the contact ID that is provided. Undo. All right, and I'll give not equals to, means I'll filter those elements whose ID is not equals to the one. So I'll remove that from this list, and I can have the latest contacts also in this particular manner. Fine, I think this will work, and I don't think there will be any issue. Well, I don't think I need any value because it's going to return void as a prompt, so I don't think I need anything, and it's good to go. Correct? That's great. Let me remove this also. All right, it's time to check this up. I'm little curious to check it. Let me try to delete this up and see whether this record is permanently deleted or not. Let's try it out. It's gone. Great. Let me try this Anna Haro. Let's delete it. It's gone. And if you just, I think, open the app again, you won't see it. Let's try it out. So I just opened the app again, and you don't see those records again. So those records are permanently deleted from the application. That's in fact great. So this is working nicely. What next do we need to work with? Well, we have almost covered up all the CRUD operations for our contact application, and I think we're good to go. For picking a contact, well, let's see what do we have. For picking up the contact, pick options, we have the projection. So basically pick contact is nothing but it will fetch the record of that particular contact which you click, or you can just pass it up. Okay, just like a gate contact only, but it is useful when you are picking a contact from the contact list. Okay, that's when it comes into play, very handy. But in the gate contact one, I think you need to pass, show you where it is, gate contact. Yeah, in the gate contact one, we are passing the contact ID, which is not needed, I think, in case of pick contact. Let me just try it. I'll just copy it up and paste it once again. Let me change it to pick contact. Okay, and I'll fetch the contact directly. I don't need to pass this up. This will be pick contact, and you can see there is no error as such. So this dot contact will be equals to picked contact. Let me just change the name, picked contact. All right, and this is what I'm going to return. if somebody is picking that particular contact. All right, and nothing else I think I need to do, I suppose. So now I'm not sure what contact it's going to show up, because the name and everything is not, it's just set to true, and it's not taking anything, I think, because that is what it is told out here. Let's check it out. I don't think it's going to work properly, but still we will be able to see the value. What do we get in the picked contact? And I want to check it in the HTML. Yes, we have it. All right. So if I click on any one, I think it's going to work. Or let's go in a better way. I'll create another option. Okay, let's do it out there. And in here, I'm simply going to paste it. We align it properly. This time it's going to be pick. Okay, there won't be any icon. And I'm going to call pick contact. Remove this particular one. All right. The color will be primary. Let's check it out now. So I'm just going to click on the pick one. Let's see what it shows. Okay, actually pick contact will lead you to this particular list, and if I just select one, let's say like banking techniques, what do I get? All right, I get all the details of that particular record. That's awesome. So basically I don't need to pass anything out here. Okay, and in fact this one also, this particular one is not needed. Just this particular stuff is enough to work with this pick contact. So you have seen how we have worked with the Contacts plugin, and we have seen all the functionality that is shown or that is mentioned out there. If you like this video, please hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done, and do check the other videos that I have built. So with this, I'll wrap up this lecture out here. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.